Alex. How you doing?
Very good, Phoebe. How are you?
Good, good. Good to have you in our podcast.
Hey,
How is
thank you for
everything over
having me.
there in Cleveland, Ohio, I guess? Yes?
Yep, that is good. Cleveland, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
After the storm, roads are getting cleaned up.
Yeah, yeah. We
And
had a
yeah,
deluge of it, over 6 inches of snow. But anyway, we we'll survive. We're getting through it.
yeah.
So
And I'm
today,
happy that
viewers, we
kids
have
got,
a
I'm happy that kids also got a couple of days off, you know what I'm saying?
hmm yeah. Viewers, today we have a very important personality in our podcast today. His name is Thomas Alexander, right?
That is
Okay,
good.
he is a CEO and founder of uRecruit. He's also a very top, I can see AI practitioner or AI expertise. So today we're gonna look at his insight and what really prompted him to develop his AI tools that you use in the recruitment. So today, once again, Mr. Alex, you're welcome to our podcast.
Thank you,
So
Phoebe.
before
Thanks
we,
for having me.
yeah, good. So this is how the podcast will go. First of all, it's not an interview. I always want to make clear it's a discussion. So we'll start with your background and an industry trend you're seeing. Then we'll discuss your challenge and where you want your recruit to be in the next 6, 12 months. Then we'll wrap up by exploring any necessary step if there's any need for that. Does that sound like a good use of our time?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So once again, you're welcome. So let's dive in. Can you share a bit about overview, a professional overview, and how you started, and how it impacts your day-to-day activity in your recruits?
So I started uRecruits 5 years back.
Okay.
So um, before that, altogether, I have close to 30 years of consulting experience. I work with pretty large institutions here in US and other geographies,
Mhm.
and been working with banking, financial services, insurance, manufacturing, these kind of companies, large clients like JP Morgan's, AIGs, and whatnot. So in my journey, I've been running consulting. When I say consulting business, you are looking at business development, sales. You're looking at solving the problem for the client, being an advisor to them, building the products and services that the client is looking for at that price point, time frame, solving their, challenges, their regulatory issues, and whatnot could be the situation that somebody can be in. So I've been doing end to end from selling to delivering and hiring teams and getting all this work done. So for 30 years, I've been hiring so many people that I have lost count of it for different kinds of projects globally and things like that. And every time I've hired, I found the pain. There are very few times that I'm able to bring on somebody within 15, 20 days or 30 days. Every time at 60 days, 90 days, some of the skills are such that you can't find it. And then you go through cycles and your projects are hit. And within your organization, the corporate and the hiring process, you understand how much of manual work happens. Everybody still uses Excel sheets and older technologies and whatnot. So when I looked at all of those problems, I knew that the HR tech stacks technologies are pretty old, pretty laid back. Maybe few big guys exist, but then working on this legacy technologies, bringing in process efficiencies and automations for the HR teams to be successful is very, very challenging. Because end of the day, HR is at a very strategic position, but their job is to support the entire organization to make sure their products and services and strategies are go to market and able to generate revenue and all of those. But nobody understands the challenge that they go to. They open one position and they get 1,000 resumes. And just imagine due to compliance, they're required to go through all of them. They're screening them. They're trying to get the panels together, scheduling interviews. So I've gone through the challenge and pain of all these things. So I said, I don't like this. I want to disrupt this. I want to build a product that is so automated that everything can happen like a business process workflow engine, basically. So for the last 5 years, I built the product. I built an ATS and assessment engine grounds up, and it can do technical assessments, coding, take home with all the workflows and things like that. And then after that, I went and started adding AI to it, where I now know that different types of AI can be applied at different levels of the problem statement, and how do you look at it? How do you bring that into the existing realm and things like that? So with my prior years of experience in building products and services, so I know how to do it. So I just brought in the next AI concepts into it, where it's today agentic AI trying to bring in more efficiencies to the recruiters and the hiring teams, basically.
Okay, awesome. But how does a typical day look like for you?
In the
Like,
sense,
your day to day, okay, your day to day activity, what does it really comprise of?
yeah, so it's interesting now compared to before
Hmm.
because you end up doing everything in the organization. So
Yeah.
and my background is such that I worked with my father for some time. So he
Mm.
was an entrepreneur. He was from an army before and then turned into an entrepreneur. So he ran company for 30 years and he was a one-man show doing everything. Right. So
Okay.
I'm, yeah, pretty impressed with his way of thinking. But I started somewhere. I know I'll be a bottleneck somewhere down the line, but today I do marketing, I do sales, I do demos, I do code, I do touch everything. I work with my SEO guys. I work with all different teams that you can think of as a department, multiple departments within the company. You have accounting, finance, and everything. So I get to do everything. So I'm a little impressed with that. I'm happy about it.
Okay. So what major shift are you seeing in your industry right now?
So uh, that's a good one. The shift is where technology is getting better and better. It is able to solve a lot of problems, but at the same time, it is like a paradigm shift. If you remember back in days, there was mainframe systems, those green systems, yeah. How painful it was. It ran for a few years, and even now, so many companies use that, institutions use that. Then
Mhm.
from there, they went to distributed and microservices and cloud and big data, and then they went into machine learning, and then they went to generative AI and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So the progression has been so much that it is not easy for people to catch up to it.
Yeah.
The big companies are disrupting this in a way that they want to be the first to get to AGI or ASI or whatever they want to get to with so much of investment. But then people are not ready. People are slow. They're still
Yeah.
learning. They're still figuring out. They know it's good for them, but um, when you use that within a company, within your business processes, many of them don't know how to implement it. So that's where the challenge is today. So the trend is such that AI is there available everywhere. You can buy a small piece of AI and plug it into your processes, or you can have a complete transformation to look at your existing processes and look at how the people process data, application, technology, all this has to come together. So the market is also switching, right? There's a job labor market switch that's happening where the trend is where they are today, the layoffs and how efficient they become. Most of the companies are using Copilot, Microsoft Copilot today as an enterprise version, or OpenAI as an enterprise version, so to do certain things. But then beyond that, how to solve a complex problem. For example, a bank receives 100 million documents a day, or say in a month. How do you go through them? How do you extract the right amount of information? How do you put it back into the process and make it work and things like that? There's a lot of engineering, a lot of innovations and thought leadership that is required. So people who have gone through the journey of mainframe to distributed and to intelligent automation and now to agentic and whatnot. So it's a journey where somebody needs to keep learning to be at par with it, otherwise you're left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming in a way that jobs are going to be there, but these jobs are going to get transformed. You won't be the same doing the same thing 10 years from now. Your jobs are going to be much better.
Yeah.
It's going to be less manual, less painful. You'll be able to use it and get outputs and get efficiencies sooner. I mean, if you're spending 20 hours doing a manual task and you use an AI and do that in 2 minutes,
Yeah.
hey, well, why not, right? So I will buy that. So that's the change coming. And then on a larger scale, this is going to impact a socio-economic fabric, culture, people. There's a lot of things to get adjusted. And eventually, when people start seeing the negative aspects of it, the red aspects of it, that's when the regulations and governance and everything is going to kick in to be making it more safer and secure for everybody to use. So my favorite topic on all of those is adversarial AI, red team testing, negative testing, responsible AI, ethical AI. How do you make sure that your AI is not going to bring the bank down, or your AI is not building any weapons of mass destructions? These kind of things are not allowed, and there has to be some guardrails and policies and procedures that companies can do only certain things, but now it's countries and the political engine needs to get involved to make sure well-being of human being. If companies are making trillions in valuations and profits and people are not having a job, I don't think the government is going to like
Yeah.
that. Right?
Yeah.
That is not because the government is not going to survive. So we need to take care of our people. We need to make sure, people don't go fight with each other. There's no berserk nature. Everybody live in harmony and peace and things like that. That's what we want, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree.
and that's the change that you're going to see.
Yeah. So, given your expertise in AI-powered recruitment and agentic AI, how do you envision you recruit incorporated not just automating, but truly transforming the hiring landscape to create more scalable, fair, and personalized candidate experience for enterprise?
That's that's a interesting one. So where we are today, we have automated it. We have got the agentic AI plugged in. You have machine learning. So we have achieved a level of efficiency and intelligence that we can bring in.
Mhm.
If now when there's a task, two different tasks happens, agents doing that. Between those two tasks, there are some wastages. So we're trying to eliminate all of those wastages and pain and everything from the whole business process. But then today, I don't think people are interested in getting into AI, buying AI in a regulated industry. If you have a bank or a healthcare or a regulated industry where you're going to use AI, there needs to be compliance to it. There needs to be an explainability to it. What AI gave you as an output, why it gave you that as an output? What is the risk rating that it gave you? So I'm seeing a scenario where all the companies have one bigger the large companies have a big disadvantage in terms of MRS, matter requiring attentions, where they have compliance issues, they're being penalized. So audits happen for every company in everywhere, right? So being audit ready and failing the audit, and company getting penalized for breaching this EEOC policy, and now they have to pay 100,000 in fine or lawsuits and things like that. So what I'm looking to do is I'm taking this to a next level where as the agentic AI gets better and better, where it is now not just reasoning, it's planning, it's coordinating, it's working with other agents in the ecosystem. It starts self-learning and self-thinking, and it can then do the next best action on its own. When that is happening, I'm looking at bringing the whole compliance aspect to it. When I say compliance, how do you hire within the HR? There are 16 to 17 different capabilities. and they're all governed by different regulations of different states, federal, and all those, right? So there are laws and policies and procedures that exist today. How do you make sure every transaction, HR, recruiter, or somebody in the company is having with the candidate? How do you make sure there's no bias in that? How do you make sure this action? How to make sure that you okay, in a job description, you say that we are looking to hire somebody who's less than 40 or somebody younger. Okay.
Mhm.
When you say those kind of words, there is a regulation behind that around age 40 and above and hiring them and things like that. So those are the kind of regulations get triggered and bias and fairness and all those comes up. So we are looking to build a solution which is called governed autonomy. It's a trademark where you have the compliance from an HR standpoint, you know the policies, and then every transaction that happens, it goes to this engine, the compliance engine and the explainability engine, and it tells you the score. If your risk score is high or if your risk score is low, this went through an AI, and this is why AI gave you this decision. Do you want to make this decision? Do you want to make this changes? You want to get an approval? So these are the kind of things that is going to change, which is going to make it more efficient.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the processes gets improved, the inefficiencies and the wastages come out, the compliances are there, the templates are there. So everything becomes faster now for HR operations, HR leaders, HR compliance folks to validate and automate and audit. That's the most important thing. Saving
That's
money
it.
from compliance standpoint too. So that's a big one because I think AI requires compliance rules and regulations. Without that, I don't think we should have AI walking around the streets.
Okay. Well said. So the next question, as a founder and CEO of uRecruit Incorporated, what inspired you to create a generation AI powered recruitment platform? And how do you see it streamlining the way enterprise find, assess, and hire top talent?
Right. So as you know today, with this market condition, the kind of layoffs that's happening today, it's getting very difficult for HR to do their job,
Yeah.
screening candidates. I remember when I applied for a job, after 2 months, somebody responding to me, "Hey, I'm sorry, we looked at your resume, it's not going through. You should have told me the day one, right? Why did you make me wait for 60 days?" So there's a that kind of a conversation. Then there are conversations where candidates are ghosting. So ghosting can happen on both the sides. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how much of time the recruiter or the company is using on manual jobs, like using Excel sheets? For example, I'm a recruiter. I'm using Excel sheets. To interview a full stack developer, I need to reach out to 10 people within the company and find out who's available to do an interview for a technical interview, right? So I
Mhm.
need to get them in, get their calendar, look at everything, and bring them to a meeting. So that time that lost is the efficiency conversation. So the automation that I'm looking at is to improve that. How do you make sure that everything is real time, everything is quick? You're able to, look at fairness, transparencies, bias, and these kind of conversation with automation. So the next generation of systems are getting much intelligent. They are not going to be the same as it was 5, 10, 30 years back. As we started the digital transformation journey, a lot of the companies who started the digital transformation journey, they know that now their data is in place, they have some intelligence, they use some processes, they have some integrations, they have some APIs in place, they have some big data. All of these things are now available now. Now they want to start making sense out of it. They want to use analytics. Back in days, they use analytics. Now I'm looking at using agentic to do DB insight. So the agent can crawl through and figure out all sorts of math and every probability that you can understand, asking them the question. So I think it is a significant step in the space of intelligence, um, automation leading to intelligent automation. And now we're trying to bring this level of AIs, which can do large amount of work for us, going through tons of documents. There are different ways to use AI, implement in different processes. Either you're predicting certain things or you're going through some documents. We created a product for a bank back in days, knowledge search, going through 15, 20,000 different documents, which has the procedures, SOPs. And now the branch user is able to have a conversation in a real time. So he can search for the right document. Hey, okay, how to do the ACH, how to open this account, what are the details required to open a capital account, and things like that. So All this information comes to your fingerprints, and these are the kind of improvements that every company is going to add for sure. If companies are not going to add, they're going to be not competitive. Period.
Okay.
If the company wants to be competitive, they have to implement AI. Otherwise, they're going to be out of business. Just
Yeah.
imagine company A, company B. Say, for example, company A, two baking companies. Okay, we make cake. Okay, company A uses AI, company B doesn't use AI. They're still manual legacy and manual way of doing things. So you can imagine the market share that company A is going to eat for being so quick, newer
Yeah.
product, services, and everything. So that is what is going to happen. And today the problem is people. End of the day, I said people are not willing to change. The transformation is about people. Are people
Mm.
willing to work with them? It's a merge. It's a handshake that you have to do with the AI
Mm.
so that you can be successful at the same time your company is going to be successful because companies are going to look very closely and they're going to be ready to fire people who are going to be obstructing this progression.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's well said. So what is working well for you right now and what has been frustrating?
What is working well for me is a small little team. I'm learning, figuring out, and trying to get into all different aspects of the department. I think it's working well because it's can be controlled, but uh, over a period of time, I think it's going to be a bottleneck. So what's not going to work, I know, is that I need to hire a team. I need to bring a bigger team who can do a lot of these things then, and it gives me some break, you know. I mean, I focus on more strategic and more, interesting things to with the products and bring new customers, new markets. Eventually, we're looking at global markets here, going to some of the regions and do business there. But then now we are learning how the US market is structured, what they do, where our clients are, what is our target customers, those kind of things that we're refining and making our progression.
Okay. That's well. But you haven't told me what is frustrating. Is everything working well? You haven't really answered.
Everything is working well. What gets frustrating is that wish you had a team,
Yeah.
wish you had people, wish you had somebody who was building things with you, building things for you. For me, bootstrapping for last 5 years is the most frustrating thing. It's so painful to keep the lights on, the amount of funding that is required for the business to keep going. So I think that's a little frustrating, but there's a good learning in that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you currently measure success as you recruit? How do you measure
Sorry, ask the
success?
question.
I said,
Ask
how
the
do you
question.
currently measure success at you recruit in your company?
How do we measure success? So, uh, from a product maturity standpoint, we know that certain things that needs to be done. So, we launched this product in the month of July, August, and since then on, it's a beta product. We're taking feedbacks from our customers. We're learning from them. They're kind of using the system. So I think the best part is for us to make sure the system is up and running. It is getting robust. It is getting used by the users. We're getting the feedback to it so that we take the feedback and go back and build the kind of capabilities and functionalities that they're looking at. I think that's the kind of journey that we're looking at.
Okay. Is there any metrics that you wish to focus more on or you double down
Oh, definitely, definitely. ARR, MRR. Everybody wants to do that, right? I mean, bigger the revenue, bigger the customers, and things like that. But we need to understand. I play in a different market. It's not a market where there are 500 plus different products that we're talking about, and everything do something or the other. Some are fragmented to just to do scheduling, some are fragmented to just the offer letter and payrolls and whatnot. So our thought process of automation, intelligent automation, AI, and when you apply to this, I think and when you look at the price points, that's the most important thing. Today, if you look at one of my competitors, they'd be charging 30, 40, $50,000 per year to manage that whole system end to end. But we have made it so cost effective, tiered in a SaaS model that we give you full cycle at a very minimum price. So for us to measure definitely those revenues, customers, yes, those are the things, but we take a look at the current spend. We want to see the cost. We want to make sure that our margins are staying healthy and things like that. So um, from a SaaS standpoint, there's a whole lot of numbers that you can look at: customer acquisitions to LTVs to ACVs to whatnot. But I think where we are today, learning, building, it gives us the flexibility to do that and not micromanage. Do a little more, have a flexibility, free hand to build more innovation, take a little more of risk and things like that.
Yeah, awesome. So where do you want uRecruit to be in the next 6, 12 months?
So next 6, 12 months, I know that uRecruits would have started the governed autonomy MVP has been underway, and I would assume that in the next by 2030 we are targeting 5,000 customers to be added altogether in the next 4 5 years. That's the journey that we're looking at. And somewhere in that process, we might have an acquisition. We might, look at IPOs. We have all those interesting thought process too.
Awesome. Okay. Are there any specific KPIs you're tracking to make sure you're on track for this?
So, as I said, there are multiple metrics and KPIs that we're looking at from customer acquisition. What's your ACVs? What's your different kinds of cost? And things like that. But I think um, we have all of those integrations and things in place, like the CRMs are built, all of those operating activities that needs to be done to keep the business up and running. Those are something that we're looking at, but eventually the metrics are very clear in terms of company performance, employee performance, even go to an extent of figuring out whether our marketing campaigns are making sense or not. How much of money are we spending on one particular channel? Am I spending too much on a channel that is not going to generate value to me? Should I look at TikTok versus should I look at a social media? Or should I go to LinkedIn or should I go to a cold email outreach? Or should I go to some conferences and things like that? So how much of money we can spend bootstrapping versus how much of money we will spend with a partner. We're looking for an investor partner to onboard us, learning from them, their expertise, and then grow with them basically. So that's thought process that we have.
Yeah, you mentioned about client acquisition. Kind of what if I understand you mean expanding your market? So what is specific steps or metrics that associate? Do you have any specific steps in place to
So when you
help
say
you?
client acquisition, I'm not referring from global expansion. I mean, I would keep the global expansion in a different way because today the market is US only. So the
Okay.
amount of money that we are spending on our products, our infrastructures, our operating cost, we're looking at that. What is the spend that is happening today to acquire a customer, to
Mm,
bring him in, to go through the 30-day trial period, to have the demos, to solve their problems. They might have some custom integrations required. They might want to integrate with their existing systems or existing databases. So we build over a period of it is not just where we just sell the product and walk away. We have to give that white glove, conversation, take them through the conversation, help them migrate from a previous world to the new world. If it's a new customer, fairly conversations are straight. They can go through it and they can figure it out. But then there will be scenarios where some consulting advices they require, some consulting jobs also comes up. So there is a custom package that we have in place. So the customer acquisition is purely from that cost, how
okay.
much money you spend overall cost today and what kind of customers you have. So you try to build the ratios and proportions out of it.
Okay, awesome. If you had a magic wand to fix just one thing that is holding you down or slowing you down in your recruit, what would that one thing be and why?
Only common problem is the product can be built. You can have a thought process, you can have a solution, you can build the product, you can stand up. But if you want to commercialize, it requires more expertise, more learning, more funding. So I would just stay at that level where if there was a funding, if I can do more marketing, if I can do more PPCs and more sales and things like that, how I convert from a marketing to a sales funnel and things like that, I think that is where I want to invest more money, which I'm not able to do much today, but definitely down the line we will focus on those kind of conversations to see how we improve our marketing efforts.
So you mean your marketing efforts, you need to improve more in your marketing efforts? Is that what they're trying to say?
Yeah, marketing efforts definitely. I was, as I said earlier, stand up a team. Today, a lot of my colleagues, some of my colleagues are freelancers.
Okay.
So I have very less employees today. So which, when you don't have employees, you're not building culture. You're missing out on so many things.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important for you to have flow of revenue, cash flow to make sure all these expenses are taken care of, so that the right team comes together to build the right product, right mindset, right culture, and build a winning product actually. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So marketing is where you're looking at. Okay.
marketing is what we're looking at now. That's the
Yeah.
focus. Yeah,
Yeah. That's your focus. Yeah. To get market more and get more results, at least more, close more sales. So let's put it that way.
true.
Okay.
True.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. And if this process of getting more market, closing more sales, so, takes root, what does it open up for you recruit?
What it would look like for you, recruits, is the first and foremost is from a brand awareness standpoint. You
Okay.
want to make sure company sees the brand. We are in a B2B space, so
Mm-hmm.
we anticipate our customers or potential customers or leads are able to express their problem statement with their existing stack that they have, looking to see how we can help them, how we can solve their problems, how we can make them more efficient. That's what is the key thing here. Solving the challenges. Unitil should be solving these problems for the HR customers is what my expectations are.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Alex. Your insight has been so invaluable, and it's an honor to have you in our podcast. And given what you've shared today, in fact, we are very happy to have you. And we say thank you for coming to our podcast. And is there any other thing you want to share, throw more light on that I
No,
didn't
I
ask?
would say, Phoebe, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay.
I think great set of questions you have. Ability to come on your platform and share messages to my peers, to my
Yeah.
clients, and make them comfortable in solving their problems. I
Oh,
mean,
sure.
that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Thank you very much,
All
Mr.
right.
Thomas. And
Thank you. Pleasure talking to you, Phoebe. Appreciate
yeah,
your
thank
time.
you. Have a
Thank you.
great weekend. Great
You're welcome.
week. Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.